Hello and welcome to my channel, Hopewell Stories. Today's video is how she found her dad living on the streets and took him in. But before we dive into the full story, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is now, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Lena was 18 years old and lived in a small apartment in the city. She worked at a coffee shop during the day and studied online at night. Life wasn't easy, but she tried her best. She had been living alone since she was 16. Her mom had passed away from illness, and her dad, Mark, had disappeared years ago. No one knew where he went. Lena had looked for him, but after months of calling shelters and asking around, she gave up. She told herself he didn't want to be found. One cold November evening, Lena was walking home from work. The sky was dark, and the wind bit at her cheeks. She pulled her coat tighter and hurried down the sidewalk. As she passed a park, she saw a man sitting under a bridge, wrapped in a torn blanket. He had a shopping cart full of old clothes and empty bottles. Lena looked away at first. She'd seen homeless people before. But then the man coughed, a deep, wet sound, and something about it made her stop. She turned back. The man lifted his head slowly. His face was covered in dirt and a thick beard. But his eyes, Lena froze. Those eyes were familiar. They were her eyes, the same shade of green, the same way they looked when tired. "Dad," she whispered. The man blinked. "Lena?" His voice was hoarse, broken by years of cold and smoke. Tears filled her eyes. "It's you. It's really you." She dropped to her knees in front of him. "Where have you been? I've looked for you everywhere." Mark looked down, ashamed. I didn't want you to see me like this." Lena didn't care. She wrapped her arms around him. He smelled of sweat and rain, but she held him tight. After so many years of wondering, of dreaming about finding him, he was here, broken, lost, but alive. "You're coming home with me," she said firmly. Mark shook his head. "No, Lena, I can't. I'm not the man I used to be." "You're my dad," she said, "and I'm not leaving you here." She helped him up. He was weak, his legs shaky. She took some of his things and pushed the shopping cart as they walked slowly to her apartment. The whole way, Lena's heart pounded. She didn't know what she was doing. Her apartment was tiny. She barely made enough money to pay rent and buy food, but she couldn't leave him. When they got inside, she gave him clean clothes and showed him the bathroom. "Take a shower. I'll make you something to eat." Mark stood there staring at the small space like he couldn't believe it was real. "You live here?" "Yes," Lena said. "It's not much, but it's home." He nodded and went into the bathroom. Lena pulled out eggs, bread, and cheese. She made 2 omelets, the best she could with what she had. Her hands trembled as she cooked. She was scared of the past, scared of what would happen now. When Mark came out, he looked different, clean, his hair wet, his beard trimmed with scissors she'd found. He wore her dad's old sweatshirt. She'd kept it all these years, hanging in her closet like a memory. They sat at the small table and ate in silence. Finally, Mark spoke. "I'm sorry, Lena. I'm so sorry." "For what?" she asked. "For leaving, for not being there, for letting you grow up alone." Lena put her fork down. "What happened? Where did you go?" Mark sighed. "After your mom died, I fell apart. I started drinking. I lost my job. Then I lost the house. I was too proud to ask for help. Too ashamed. I thought it was better if I just disappeared. That you'd be better off without me." Lena stared at him. "You thought I'd be better off alone, without anyone?" "I didn't think straight," he said, his voice breaking. "I was broken. I still am, maybe. But I never stopped thinking about you." Lena didn't know what to say. Part of her wanted to scream, to cry, to blame him, but another part just felt relief. He was here, he was alive, and he was sorry. That night she let him sleep on the couch. She lay in her bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything. She remembered when she was little, her dad teaching her to ride a bike, laughing as she fell. She remembered him reading her stories before bed, his voice warm and strong. She missed that man. But maybe, just maybe, he was still in there. The next few weeks were hard. Mark was used to sleeping outside. He woke up at 3 a.m., restless. He didn't know how to act inside a home. He felt guilty taking Lena's food, using her soap, wearing her clothes. Lena got him a doctor's appointment. He had health problems, lung issues from years in the cold, bad teeth, high blood pressure. The doctor said he needed care, rest and support. Lena called a local shelter that helped homeless people get back on their feet. They gave her information about counseling, job training, and free medicine. She filled out forms, made calls and went with Mark to every appointment. She also started saving more. She took extra shifts at the coffee shop. She stopped buying new clothes. She cooked cheap meals. It was tough, but she didn't complain. One night, Mark sat with her on the couch. "You're doing too much," he said. "You should be living your life, going to school, having fun, not taking care of me." Lena smiled. "I'm doing what I need to do, and I'm not alone. I have you now." Mark looked at her, tears in his eyes. "I don't deserve you." "No," Lena said. "But you're my dad, and family takes care of each other." Slowly, things began to change. Mark started going to therapy. He talked about his pain, his guilt, his fear. It wasn't easy, but he kept going. He joined a support group for people coming out of homelessness. He learned how to manage his emotions without drinking. He also started volunteering at a food kitchen. It gave him purpose. He said it felt good to help others who were where he once was. Lena helped him apply for jobs. He got a part-time job cleaning offices at night. It wasn't much, but it was a start. He saved every dollar. 6 months later, Mark moved into a small studio apartment, paid for by a housing program. He was proud. He called Lena every day. "You did this," he told her. "You saved me." Lena shook her head. "You saved yourself. I just opened the door." On her 19th birthday, Mark came to her apartment with a small gift. Inside was a photo album. On the first page was a picture of Lena as a baby, in her dad's arms. The next pages showed birthdays, holidays, school plays, photos he had kept all those years, even when he had nothing else. "I carried this with me," he said, "even on the streets. I never forgot you." Lena hugged him. "We're a family again." And they were. Life wasn't perfect. Mark still had bad days. Lena still worked hard, but they had each other. And that made all the difference. Sometimes, love isn't about big things. It's about seeing someone broken and choosing to help. It's about forgiveness. It's about coming home. And for Lena and her dad, home wasn't a place. It was each other. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video. Bye.